Never should have let you talk me into that duck blind in the first place. Your Federation procedures have made this mission 10 times as difficult as it needed to be.
Well, that's fucking gross. In the last breakdown of the Star Trek movie Insurrection, we discussed how the Enterprise E and Worf were introduced and how they got the ship to ultimately find its way to the Briar Patch. Looking at what comes next after that, a lot of the scenes that are observed are either setups or just exposition. Ultimately, it all starts with Picard jumping into action. He does what any good captain should do. He delegates. Troy and Riker are to become experts on the Sona, while Worf and Geordi figure out how to stop the android. Of course, they have an entire ship with ensigns, lieutenants, and more that could do all of this for them, but screw that. Senior staff only, babies. Geordi and Worf easily tech how to disable data, which, at first I was going to say was a bit disturbing, but the human body can be taken down pretty easily as well, so guess it checks out. Through Riker and Troy, we are told more about the Sona. These people create Ketracel White, enslave races, and make those peoples a part of their working class.
Half century ago, they conquered two primitive races, the Tarlac and the Allura, and then integrated them into their culture as a labor class. Look at this. The Sona are known to have produced mass quantities of the narcotic Ketracel White. Their ships are rumored to be equipped with isolytic subspace weapons outlawed by the Second Kittimer Accord.
Why would we be involved with these people?
Good question.
Troy asks why the Federation would ally with them, and because she asked the question, we never have to have it answered. Eat your heart out, Game of Thrones Season 8. During this entire time, we also see strange things happening, with people regressing to their earlier years. First, you have Worf, who is sleeping in and having issues being tidy, and then
That in a long time.
What?
What you're doing to my neck.
Was I doing something to your neck?
we have the Betazoid counselor transforming into Season 1 Thirsty Troy. I don't know if this is a good regression or not, so I'm a little conflicted on it. Anyway, moving on, the Enterprise E is making its way through the Briar Patch and has been there for about 2 days. I think. The passage of time in this movie doesn't make a lot of sense. The one thing we do know is that they lose all communication with Starfleet and the Federation once they enter. But not much more after that. Did it take them 2 days to get there, or did they arrive? What did the 2 days have to do? It was just confusing for me. And talking about that, why hasn't this area been used extensively by the Dominion or Starfleet? You lose all communications and you're able to hide your ships. It seems like a great staging area. Maybe it had been in the past and was just never discussed, but then how do they miss the magical planet of magic if they were there before? Again, just a little confusing. Holy. Hey there, friend. Got another Loot Crate promotion for you. What the hell are you doing here? I didn't even get paid for the last campaign I did. Oh, they paid you. Just as your manager, I took the money. What? How's that even legal? Oh yeah, I work for CBS. Told you that last time. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Anyway, this newest Loot Crate, you're going to love it. It's Westworld. You're a huge fan of that science fiction series, right? I don't think I've even seen a full episode of that series. Of course you are, if you could just get to making that promotion. Yeah, I'm not working for you. I'm not going to do a promotion. Loot Crate's fine, but nah, I'm good. Tell you what, I'll throw in a free year of OnlyFans, any account you want. You ever heard of Maddie Doll or E-Girl Titana? What's up, Lore Masters? I want to give a special shout out to Loot Crate. For those who have been a part of the channel, you know that they did one campaign with me and you guys were so receptive, they wanted to do another. Not only do you get stuff you love, but I get a kickback for every Loot Crate that's purchased using the link below. So go take a look. If you like what you see, definitely subscribe and tell them Lore Reloaded said hey.
Captain, I wasn't expecting you.
This is too important for the Enterprise to be on the sidelines, Admiral.
Ultimately, the Enterprise E arrives and Picard has to confront the Admiral. And, true to form, after disobeying orders, going 2 days in the wrong direction, there are no negative consequences for what Picard did with one of the most powerful ships in Starfleet. Best military ever. The Admiral states that Data has fired on the Sona ships and he must be stopped. Picard advises that he will be the one to stop Data, one way or the other. Now here's an interesting question. If Data did fire on them, which we see that he did, why didn't he finish them off? Or why did the Sona just let him go if he couldn't stop them? The Sona don't appear to ever engage the android or the shuttle. The timing of it makes it seem like Data attacked 2 days before the Enterprise got there. Do the Sona not really have the resources to take on one shuttle? Are there no other Starfleet ships with the Admiral that could handle this? Best military ever.
Sensors are not picking up any ships coming from the surface.
But regardless, now, with a thirsty Betazoid, a teenager like Worf, we go into battle with our boy Data. In order to take on Data, they send a shuttle instead of the Sovereign-class ship. So I'm not exactly sure why they don't. In fact, I don't know why the Enterprise doesn't start assisting when Data fires on both Picard and Worf. I guess they couldn't sing or do the acrobatics if the Sovereign saved the day. Picard and Worf attempt to tech their way out of defeating Data, but
He has activated a transport inhibitor.
okay, so you can inhibit transporters with technology on the shuttles. Why isn't that, always active? It seems like a great way to prevent someone being taken over or your ship being boarded. I understand it could be an issue if you needed help, but generally, keeping it on would seem to be the best idea. Yeah, anyway. After a few failures, Picard gets the idea to distract Data using something that the android had been working on.
A British tar is a soaring soul, as free as a mountain bird. His energetic fist should be ready to resist a dictatorial word. Sing, Worf, sing.
Okay, that's a bit kooky, but we'll go with it. With Data distracted, they latch onto his ship and are able to capture him. A few things here. The animation and CGI is absolutely wonderful. Even in 2020, I'm impressed. I know that people have made an issue of the singing for Picard or him hitting the 2 buttons to bring up the script, and I agree, the 2 buttons makes no sense, and the singing is cringe, okay, you got me there, but we know that it exists because our boy Sir Patrick Stewart enjoys the theater and wanted something like that in the movie. It's something we're just going to have to deal with and will become a bigger problem in another film that we'll ultimately get into. Eventually. Anyway, we now have Data, and the minor confrontation in Act 1 of this story has been resolved. So let's continue moving on in the next Lore Reloaded.
Mr. Worf, do you know Gilbert and Sullivan?
No, sir. I have not had a chance to meet all the new crew members since I have been back.